안녕하세요. Really? That's all I can say, just to be clear. Really happy to be here. I'm some quick background. I'm based out of the US and just got here on Sunday night. So it's about 2 a.m. in San Francisco, and I'm standing on stage in front of this amazing audience to give a talk. So what can go wrong in this point? I'm happy to be here. Really excited to share the story of Thousand Eyes and how we're innovating inside Cisco. And just make it fun by actually talking about what we do and showing it to you as well. So before I go forward, I want to give a quick background on why Thousand Eyes was created and what was the purpose behind Thousand Eyes. The main reason they started was the shift that was happening with cloud becoming the new data center, SaaS applications like WebEx, Office 365, etc., becoming the new app stack. More recently, you've seen home becoming the new office in many ways, people working from everywhere, and what this results in is the internet is the new network. And the challenge with this is every digital experience is going through different parts of different environments, most of which you don't control. So the whole premise around Thousand Eyes was how do you assure experiences which do not entirely stay in your domain. So it starts at home, it goes to cloud, it goes to SaaS applications. How do you actually assure that? So the mission behind Thousand Eyes is to really help you see and understand and improve connected experiences everywhere. And this was the mission of Thousand Eyes before coming into Cisco. I'll share a little bit about that. This aligns so well with what Cisco's mission is. So I'm excited. Now the question is, how do you do this? And I wanted to just walk over here and show you a quick demo of what this really means. So we should switch over here. Thousand Eyes is doing billions of measurements on a daily basis across different parts of the internet. And we synthesize all of that and present it to you in a very simple map that shows what's happening on the internet right now. So this map tells you outages either at the application level. So for example, Netflix is having an outage, which means your kids are probably going to go crazy for some time. You will see that applications and networks are listed here as having specific outages. And now, in addition to looking at the left-hand side, you can focus on specific areas and understand what is happening in there. I'm going to actually click on one specific issue. So we all rely on Microsoft a lot. When you click on this Microsoft issue, this happened 9 hours ago, so just earlier today. And on the left-hand side, we show you the regions that are impacted by the outage. On the right-hand side, we show you which services are impacted by the outage. So that's where you see Microsoft in there. And in here, we're trying to help you understand what is the cause of this issue. So the 10 and the red circle indicates that we've detected an outage inside the Microsoft environment. Now, to be very clear, outages happen everywhere. So we're not showing a specific issue as a general issue. This is just an example. So within this, if I click on this, I can start to understand which part of Microsoft's environment. So in this case, this specific outage is in the London region. Now, the reason this is interesting is you can expect an outage in the London region of Microsoft to have an impact to France, Spain, and UK. But notice that even Australia, which is so far away from London, is actually impacted by an issue in London. So this is the kind of insight we can provide very quickly. And this is with zero implementation. This is really around just the tons and tons of measurements we do, the insights we gather, and then the intelligence we extract from them to create a very simple Google Maps-like view for you. If you're interested in just taking a quick look at this, you can go to thousandeyes.com/outages, and you can look at a very, very simplified view of this. Now, you may ask, how does this apply to me as an individual? And I thought the best way to showcase that would be my own experience. So this morning, I was trying to log into my product, Thousand Eyes, and it was slow. And I decided it would be a great example to use Thousand Eyes to solve that problem. So I want to walk you through what I noticed in that example, where if you look at app.thousandeyes.com, the experience from 5 hours ago, it's not great. And I want to understand why is that experience not great. And this is why I want to highlight this issue, because this is something everybody goes through. The Wi-Fi is not good, or is the internet not good? So very quickly, when I click on this, I can start to see the entire journey. So the first thing I see is my laptop itself, the CPU and the memory is actually pretty good. So I don't have an issue with my laptop. I can see the actual wireless strength inside the intercontinental Wi-Fi is pretty good. So there's no issues there. But somehow there is a lot of delay when it comes to actually loading the page. So if I go here, this is the page that is loaded, and it takes a long time. Why is that the case? When I go into the network view, this is all live, by the way. It's done instantly. That's my laptop. And I first see that this is connected to the intercontinental Wi-Fi, but it's also on Korea Telecom. So that's sort of the intelligence I get right away. And then I can see Korea Telecom here is the ISP that is being used by Intercontinental to go to other services, right? But the issue, and the red link here, is in that internal network between the hotel Wi-Fi access point and the Korea Telecom exit within the environment. So at this point, I have enough information to go to the front desk and complain about the Wi-Fi. But I could also switch to my phone. And once I switch to my phone, I can solve the issue, knowing that the issue is within this environment. So that's a very quick example of Thousand Eyes in action. We can switch back. Hopefully, it shows you not just the power of Thousand Eyes, but also the ability to understand every experience. In this case, I was in the hotel trying to go to a SaaS application. I was outside the IT environment, yet I could troubleshoot every step of this. So why did we build all of this? Why are we showing you this thing? The quick background on this is myself, my colleague, two co-founders who started Thousand Eyes, we did our PhD at UCLA. And we finished our PhD in 2007, and we were really passionate about the internet. So our whole research was on understanding the internet, and we were passionate about explaining to people how the internet works and why something here can break something there. And what we realized was that everything network monitoring was focused on just devices and routers, but nobody understood the internet as a whole. So we started Thousand Eyes, and it's a really interesting story. I wanted to flash this picture because I have very fond memories of this. When we started, we had no funding, we had no money, so we were building this with very little money, and we were acquiring customers. And at that point, there was no cloud services that you could use to build an application. So our first data center was in our garage. And the way we built this data center was in 2010, when all the companies in San Francisco area were starting to shut down because of the economy. We were driving around, picking up servers that they were trashing out, bringing the servers back, powering them up, and seeing if they work. And then if they work, we put them in our rack. So that's how we built the first data center. And the reason I show this picture is because there's a sticker which says trash on that picture. That server, that was our first data center. So when we had a customer, and Twitter was one of our first customers, Twitter used Thousand Eyes so they could get the intelligence. I still remember Twitter asking me to visit our data center, and I did not want them to come and see these servers. So it was fun days. But fast forward to today, what we have done is evolve Thousand Eyes to solve a variety of use cases. And these use cases start from customer-facing applications. So if you have an application that you are developing that your customers use, and they go over the internet, we can help understand that internet journey for you. At the same time, employees are accessing all sorts of application, going through all sorts of environments. We can help decode that as well from the employee standpoint. And then within infrastructures, as we all know, they are becoming very hybrid. Either it's cloud deployments, it's SaaS applications, it's SD-WAN. They are becoming very hybrid, and so we can help you troubleshoot those environments as well. Now, what is really exciting is since we've come inside Cisco, within the last 3 years, our innovation has actually accelerated. And this is something that is really exciting for our customers as well. So let's talk about that a bit. When we talk about your own applications, we work very closely with App Dynamics to build that whole picture together. So App Dynamics will give you intelligence within the application and what's happening, and we complete that from the application edge to the user. So put that together, you have the best story of user experience. Hybrid work. Everyone's working from everywhere. And here, we combine with WebEx to help you understand automatically every WebEx session experience, why it's a problem, whether it's the Wi-Fi, whether it's the internet, whether it's WebEx. And this is all live information. So this has been a really successful integration because with video calls and audio calls, network quality is really, really important. And it's really important to get that right. We also not just show this for WebEx. The WebEx integration is very tight, but we can also show this information for Teams and other products as well that you might use for collaboration. And finally, secure access edge. That's a hot area. Everyone's trying to put some sort of secure access edge, and we've done a lot of really good work to deploy Thousand Eyes on all sorts of platforms, Catalysts, ISRs, ASRs. So that's sort of a body of work that has been done, and the whole premise of Thousand Eyes inside Cisco is that it can run off of any platform, pretty much, that you may have that belongs to Cisco. And by the way, we are also working with other vendors because we do believe that the customer has to see everything. So if you don't have a Cisco environment, we can help support that as well. But the integration with Cisco is really tight. We want to help give that intelligence, and we want to also make that intelligence available to everything. So with that, I want to share a framework of how we're laying out the vision of what we want to do over the next 2-3 years and give you some very strong data points around the success of that vision. So when we think about this environment, we want to provide assurance over every element of the digital experience, whether it's a home environment, whether it's the wireless access campus, whether it's a service provider, whether it's the internet or cloud. We want to give you assurance across everything. And we are in a very unique position to do this because the data we have is very unique. The view we have on the internet is very unique. That's unparalleled. And the way we think about this is 3 elements. The data collection is one. We want to make sure we collect data from every part of the environment. And this is why you're seeing integrations where we are integrating with different Cisco platforms, with AnyConnect, all of these areas, so we can make deployment easy. But data in itself is not meaningful if you don't extract the insights from them. So what I showed you earlier, right, the view of where the issue is, that looks really simple because it's made to look simple. But behind that, there is a ton of really complex analysis, intelligence, AI that goes into place to make it really easy for you to see exactly where the issue is. And we're very accurate about it. And finally, knowing is not enough. You have to be able to share data. So one thing which is very unique about Thousand Eyes and how it operates is when you find an issue, you can create an interactive link, and you can send it to your provider. So if you have an issue with a provider you use, you can create a link, and you can send it to them, and they can actually interact with that data. So this has really helped our customers build better relationships with their providers, whether it's a cloud provider or a SaaS provider or otherwise. And in that world, when we think about what this means and what it means to see and understand experiences everywhere, very recently, we had a ton of innovation announced, and these are a few subsets of what we have announced. So first, Cisco Meraki. I am really excited about this because I was a Meraki customer even before we came into Cisco. I used Meraki within my own house, and this is a really, really good story, but it's a true story as well. I had issues with a raccoon in my attic in the house where it was waking me up in the middle of the night, so I set up a Meraki MV2 camera in the attic, and I caught the raccoon, like where exactly it was. So Meraki is a great stack, and I was so excited to integrate with Meraki. So we now run Thousand Eyes agents on Meraki MX, and I'm really looking forward to that being out in the field. We're doing stuff with WebEx now, where our WebEx, the WebEx RoomKit devices and RoomOS will have Thousand Eyes natively on it. That means if you have the Desk Pro or RoomKits, you can start to get experience like right away and understand that entire journey. We've announced a really deep partnership with AWS, and this is just the beginning of our public cloud journey with customers. But with AWS, we're able to help people understand that end-to-end view and go deeper inside the cloud environments. And this is something very, very unique. So when you see that view, you can actually see where the global accelerator starts and so on and so forth. And finally, we talked about this a little bit. the data in itself is really valuable, but extracting insights is really important. So one capability we've released towards our AI ops side is automated event detection. So with all the data we collect, we can automatically detect events for you. And this is, again, a bunch of research that is now being productized. So I'm excited about these innovations. We do have a booth up there behind, and we have a couple of areas, actually, with Thousand Eyes. So if you get some chance, please do go and check it out. This is a view for WebEx, and I wanted to flash this really quickly because I found this really cool. I did not know this about WebEx until we visualized it through Thousand Eyes. So why am I excited about this? On the left is a laptop that is going through Wi-Fi and going to WebEx. But the reason I found this really interesting is notice on the top there are 3 IPs for WebEx. And what we found was that this is not uncommon with collaboration or meeting providers, where one of the IPs is for audio, one is for video, and one is for screen sharing. So we are able to actually break down that experience based on individual elements and show you if one particular area is having an issue, we'll actually map that out. So that's the integration with WebEx. It's really exciting. But as we think about this, these new innovations, these are the sort of areas that we think about, right? Visibility from anywhere. This is where Meraki fits in. This is where RoomOS fits in. The insights and extracting that is also critical. This is where we have event detection. We have path enrichment. So this is really sort of putting that picture together. And then workflows. And workflows, this is an area that was also announced at Cisco Live. So Cisco Secure Client, this is an initiative where we want to make sure that Cisco agents are combined into one architecture. And this is really, really great for customers. We're excited about that. Thousand Eyes is now part of this deployment module as well. So as you're deploying AnyConnect, other Cisco products on the endpoint, you will have one architecture around this. So this is super exciting. As I wrap things up, I want you to take away this sort of summary around Thousand Eyes, right? We're not built to tell you what's inside the router, what's happening inside that router. You probably have a lot of things doing that. What we are built around is really connecting that experience, end-to-end experience, with the different elements in that journey, even if you don't own the different elements. It doesn't matter. We also are not attached to the infrastructure. So if you are on MPLS, you deploy Thousand Eyes and you move to SD-WAN, we'll automatically detect it. We'll actually visualize it for you. And one other thing that I want to highlight is Thousand Eyes, in addition to the really accurate and fast troubleshooting, is a really good planning product as well. So if you want to migrate an application to cloud, because we can simulate the traffic and end users, you can actually see how it would look before you go live with that application. So as you explore Thousand Eyes, I encourage you to also think about it from a planning standpoint. To wrap, we have a lot of content. We have a lot of different use cases. There's a booth. I encourage you to spend some time at the booths. We also make really good T-shirts. If you're into T-shirts, we have some really fun T-shirts. One which is very popular, it says, "Go ahead, blame the network." And that's a really fun one. So we have some fun T-shirts there as well. And we did build a local language site, which is also exciting. So if you spend some time on that, you can get some more access. And finally, we have started making a lot of investments in this region as well. And we have a specialist team in addition to the broader Cisco team that supports Thousand Eyes. So if you're interested in how this applies to your environment, check out the email, send a note out, and we will make sure we give you a custom view of your environment. Miles is up here in the audience, and he's going to be your point of contact for any sort of and it will be click. Like you give us a website, within 5 minutes, we'll give you a report of what the website looks like from Thousand Eyes. So, I'm really excited. Again, I thank everyone for listening and tuning in. And this is just the beginning of an incredibly exciting journey that Thousand Eyes has with Cisco. So I want to thank everyone here for listening to this presentation and hope to work with a lot of you in the near future. Thank you. Kamsahamnida.